Hey everyone, in today's video, I had some questions coming in on how to lower some wedges, some things that I've been doing in the Chasing Scratch series using the Mevo Plus. So let's break them down. Hey everybody, Scott Hogan coming at you today. We're going to go by the numbers, talk about launch monitor numbers. I'm going to be using the Mevo Plus, but this would work with any launch monitor that you use that has the numbers that we are going to talk about. We're going to be going through this because it's been asked how to get these wedge shots to fly lower, which if you've been watching the Chasing Scratch series, you can see that that's something I've been working on. Specifically, I go check out episode 2 where I talk about how I'm getting this done because I've been able to do it. And so far with the skills app, my percentages of how I'm controlling my wedges has gone through the roof by getting that, one, the contact dialed in, but two, getting the ball flight down. So that's how you can use this tech. That's hopefully what we're doing with the Chasing Scratch series, is hopefully showing you how to do this, what's the process, and getting better. So let's start talking about wedge shots and getting them down lower. So first off, why do you want them lower? Well, the thing about hitting a wedge lower is it's usually easier to control the distance that the ball is going to travel, and it's also easier to get more predictable spin, which is a big equation part of this as we're going through this. So we're trying to get that ball flight lower so you know how far it's going to fly, and then also the spin will be predictable. You could actually a lot of times spin it more when you're hitting the ball lower because you're getting more friction on the ball, things like that. But in general, you're just going to be more accurate. You're going to keep the ball out of the wind. And when you're hitting these fuller wedge shots, you really will be able to spin it enough and stop it. So you don't need to hit it super high as it used to be thought that you needed to do to stop the ball. So when it comes to using the launch monitor, okay, when I'm looking at getting my ball flight down, there's two things that I'm really looking at. And so the first one is going to be dynamic loft. All right, so dynamic loft is really just going to be your loft when you strike the ball at impact. Okay, now with the Mevo Plus, we don't have that. What we have is our launch angle. We can just look at the way the ball is launching from the club face. That is going to be a very close representation of what dynamic loft is. So again, dynamic loft is the loft of the club face, if this is my club face, when I strike the ball. So a lot of times if I start with the club face loft, let's say I have a 60-degree wedge, we're going to be turning that wedge down at least probably 10 degrees. That would be good if we can. And then when we strike the ball, some other things are going to make that ball launch even lower. So you're trying to get those numbers down, and that's going to show us, hey, we're launching this ball pretty low. Now, another part of this equation then is going to be our angle of attack, which we do have on the Mevo Plus and we have on a lot of other launch monitors. And that angle of attack is important because that is going to be how we're coming into the ball. The more we hit down at it, the easier it is for the ball to go up higher. It's harder to get control of the launch of the golf ball. So you've seen in the Chasing Scratch series, which I've got up right over here, so go check that out. You've seen I've been working on getting my angle of attack to be very, very shallow. And I've done that by putting in an alignment rod. I was too steep with my angle of attack. So I was working on getting under the alignment rod, feeling like I drop under and get that swing to feel very around me. Very Zach Johnson-esque is what I described it as. And what that's going to do is get it to where it's like you're hitting a ball off a tee in baseball. I'm getting to this point where if this is the ball, I want to come in as level as I can to drive it as straight as I can. Now, in golf, is there still some downward element? Absolutely. We're just trying to get that downward to be as small as possible. So when I'm hitting a wedge, I like to see it be under 5 or so if I can, -5. I want to be somewhere -5, -4, maybe -6 to hit these nice low flighted wedges. And then the last part of this is you have to control your speed with a wedge. I'm never hitting a wedge more than probably 80 to 85% of what my full speed is. Speed adds height, okay? And that's because it adds spin. you're going to add spin, that ball is going to rise. You're also just not going to be able to control the launch of the ball as much. And what you'll find is when you try to swing that extra 15% in how fast you're swinging the club, you're not going to gain anything. All you're going to do is hit it higher. Okay, you're not going to hit it any farther. So I always try to swing very, very controlled, keep everything under control for I just want to launch the ball the right distance or the right height and hit it the right distance in my shots. So that's the breakdown. The numbers we're looking at, we want to keep control of our dynamic loft, which controls our launch angle. And we want to control that angle of attack because that's going to play into how that ball is launching. If we can keep both of those numbers down, we should hit the ball flatter, easier to control with better distance and better spin control, and we're going to be a better wedge player. So that's by the numbers with your launch monitor. If you have any questions, check it out below. If you need any more explanations of numbers on your launch monitor, please leave a comment down below. And as always, click that subscribe button and we'll catch you in the next video.